going on?
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ. Yeah.
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family. Smoochie.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. I'm Mike Babcock with my guy, as always, Mojo Muhtadi. Mojo, we're going to start right there. Punches were thrown Saturday night, at least from one of the fighters. Yeah. Jake Paul returned to the boxing ring. And Mojo, the criticism of the problem child has been, you're fighting old dudes like Mike Tyson. You're fighting MMA fighters like Tyron Woodley. Well, he finally got in there with a guy who is not a current boxing champion, but was just a couple of years ago in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Mojo. And as we watch some of the highlights here, Julio came on late in the fight. It did, in fact, look like Jake Paul was tired in the last 2 rounds. It was a 10-round fight, Mojo. But at that point, Jake Paul had built up such a commanding lead on the scorecards that it was impossible outside of Julio actually knocking out Jake Paul. Jake Paul has not been knocked out. He's only lost once, as a matter of fact. That was, of course, to Tommy Fury a couple years back, but he has not been knocked out, and he was not knocked out Saturday night, and Jake Paul then wins by unanimous decision. Jake Paul, 28 years old, Mojo. He is 12-1 now, 7 KOs. This is all since he turned pro just 5 years ago in 2020. And Jake Paul, he's made it clear he wants to fight bigger and better opponents. Mojo, bigger meaning, well, I was going to say bigger in popularity, but perhaps bigger in stature too, Mojo. Because after the fight, Jake, of course, was asked who he was interested in. And, well, he's going, or he wants to go at least, some big game hunting. Watch this.
A couple of those shots at the end, any of them hurt you? Any of them stun you?
Oh, no. It needs to be a lot more than that. I want tougher fighters. I want to be world champion. Zerto looks slow tonight. That'd be easy work too. Badu Jack, I want everybody. Anthony Joshua, Gervonta, and Tommy, stop running.
All right, you named some big names there, some very active, in their prime champions. Badu Jack, Zerto, who we just saw. Is that the path you're going down now?
Yeah, 100%. I'm just getting warmed up in this. You've already seen my face, hella. Get used to be seeing it more.
When do you want to return?
As soon as possible.
This year?
100%. I'm staying active. I'm fighting everybody.
There you heard it, Mojo. Those are not MMA fighters. Those are not retired boxing champions. I mean, he said Gervonta Davis, Badu Jack, Anthony Joshua, who was a massive, massive man. What do you think?
Well, I know exactly what the fans think, Babcock. You could hear them sounding off all night. They love Jake Paul, right? No, not really. I've been to a few of his fights, and man, the crowd boos the mess out of him, and I'm sure he doesn't care one bit because attendance is always great, viewership is often even better. So, playing the bad guy, he can lean into it as much as he wants, just like his brother Logan over in the WWE. It's an interesting thing here, right, Babcock? Because you already said it. The criticism on Jake Paul is the fact that he doesn't fight boxers. He fights celebrities and retired fighters and, people that, the boxing world doesn't really respect, at least inside of a boxing ring. Well, sometimes this is the result of what you get when you fight boxers, right? This fight wasn't nearly as exciting as some of his previous fights, but he's listening to the crowd. Eventually, you got to find a way to both sell tickets, sell the fight, build up the hype, and deliver a great show. At least in this one, he fought a boxer. As for those other guys, that's a serious commitment right there. He has a lot of things that he does right now. In order to even have a shot at getting in the ring with one of those guys, he would have to sever a lot of these other interests that he has and focus on that. By doing so, he is going to lose out on a ton of money and all these other projects and whatnot. Plus, if you ask pro boxers, I don't know if he's necessarily ready for that anyways, even with a year, 2 or 3 of training to get up there and challenge for a title and be up in the big leagues outside of his own promotion. I don't know. But hey, look, he's listening to the criticism. He's handling the haters. He's going out there. He's winning fights. He is now fighting boxers from time to time, at least, albeit mostly retired. maybe that's the next step. Let's fight some legitimate competition here and see what happens.
The problem for Jake, Mojo, is that most boxers, when they are starting and they say, I want to be champion one day, nobody knows them at first. So they can take a bunch of fights and they can get experience and they can pad the record a little bit. The problem for Jake is that he's just too well known. He's too famous. And because of that, he has to make a decision. Do I fight an unnamed, no-name boxer that nobody's heard of? Or do I fight somebody with a name? He seems ready, or he thinks he's ready at least, to take that next step. Obviously, when you're talking about just Tank and take Anthony Joshua, I mean, you're talking about 100 pounds separating those two guys. So there is a massive difference. He's too big for Tank. He's too small for Anthony Joshua. So he probably has to find somebody in the middle. Maybe that person was like a Canelo Alvarez, Mojo, and maybe that fight happens sometime here in the near future. But bottom line is, yeah, Jake Paul seems to be signaling that he believes he's ready. Is he? I don't know. He has confidence in himself. I know one thing's for sure. I think the people will probably watch. They may boo, but they will watch.
Baby, please don't go. I said, Romeo, take me somewhere we should be alone. I'll keep waiting. I'll just touch the two stars. You be the princess, I'll be the princess. It's a love story, baby, just say yes.
Mojo, what an end to tight end university. Of course, we talked about this last week. Some of the best tight ends from around the National Football League. They come together. I promise there is some football talk. It seems like it's just been one big party or one big concert, Mojo. But, you know, during the day, they're on the football field trying to make each other better. Iron sharpens iron, that whole thing, Mojo. But they've been having a blast at night. You know, we showed you the impromptu concert last week where Taylor Swift borrowed somebody else's guitar, got on stage, and everyone was loving it. There it was, Mojo. And now you fast forward just a couple of days later, and as everyone was about to depart and head off, and matter of fact, Taylor and Travis ended up going to New York City, had a nice date night together over the weekend. But this was really cool. They're singing Love Story. Everybody, I mean, Kittle's so into it. You heard Travis Kelce, you saw Travis Kelce there for a second. Mojo, I think it just goes to show how much she has been accepted by this group, by Travis's friends, by his colleagues. They all seem to love her, Mojo. And, I mean, this relationship is real, it's serious, and it's pretty cool.
I mean, has T Swift made a single mistake with the football world?
No.
I mean, not on her accord. If you ask some of the fans, yeah, they'll get tired of the broadcast cutting to her 2,005 times
Right.
every game. But even the NFL finally caught on and got a little bit more receptive to that and scaled it back a little bit. But
Yes.
She's bought in, man. She supported him. She's been to so many of his games, practices, off-season camps. I mean, let's keep it real. No disrespect for TEU, but I got to imagine that T Swift has other things going on that
Yes.
would probably be a little bit better for her personally and for her career and make her more money than showing up to an off-season camp. By the way, shout outs to the team. I mean, reminder, this is the off-season, right? You're supposed to rest and recover and not go too far into it and save your body, but still working hard. But enjoy yourself at night. You got to have a mental break. There's got to be some levity here before you go right back to camp, which is right around the corner. Reminder on that one. And your life is pretty much over with for the better part of a year. So I'm glad that they're doing this thing the right way. In the offseason, you work hard, you play hard. Not surprised one bit that George Kittle plays hard. That's a surprise to no one. I think actually the first time I met Kittle, it was at a party, matter of fact. This is a fun guy, right? You always see Kittle doing something crazy, whether it's showing up in the pro wrestling world, some sort of party, performance, concert. He's a very active guy. Everybody loves this man. So shout out to Kittle as well. But yeah, T Swift putting in the time. Let's see how this season goes and how she ups the ante from previous seasons.
What's next for Ilia Topuria after his knockout win over Charles Oliveira at UFC 317? We know who El Matador wants, but does Dana White agree? We'll hear from the UFC boss when TMZ Sports returns right after this.
But there's a difference already in how Charles is absorbing these shots. Well, he's already busted up. Oh! goodness.
And now
called it.
UFC lightweight champion Ilia
called it. He said he was going to knock him out in the first round, and he did it. My goodness.
That was unbelievable.
No one's ever done it like that.
The left hook, man.
No one has ever done it like that to Charles Oliveira. Not like that.
Hey, dude is special. This dude is special.
Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, Ilia Topuria. That man right there is the new UFC 155-pound champion with an absolutely incredible performance Saturday night, UFC 317, against Charles Oliveira, who was the former 155-pound champion. Ilia Topuria, Mojo, he didn't say I'm just going to beat him. He didn't say I'm just going to knock him out. He said I'm going to knock him out in the first round, and he's going to sleep. And that's exactly what happened via one of the most brutal combination of punches you will ever see. I mean, as we watch this here, Mojo, he got caught twice going down. He was asleep on that first punch, and those other punches were just for good measure. As again, Ilia Topuria is one of the new real superstars of this sport. He caps what, in my mind, is the greatest three-fight performance that I've ever seen. He starts in February of 2024, Mojo. He knocks out Alexander Volkanovski. Volk might be the greatest featherweight fighter ever. He's not. It's either Max Holloway or it's Jose Aldo. After the Volk fight, he beats Max Holloway, knocks Max out. And then he does what he does to Charles Oliveira. It's unlike things that we have ever seen done to these men. And he did it 3 fights in a row. It's absolutely incredible. It's unmatched again, in my opinion. Okay, so now the question is, what is next for Ilia Topuria, who is now, again, 155-pound champ? Does he stay here? Does he fight someone in the lightweight division? Does he go up? Does he fight Islam Makhachev? Those are all the questions. Well, in that octagon, Saturday night, Mojo, in Vegas, somebody walked into the octagon and they had a little bit of a face-off. This could be a massive fight because this guy is a huge superstar in his own right. Watch this.
Well done.
Look at me. Look at me.
That was a heavy knockout. I'll give you that respect. But you will never knock me out.
I'm going to submit you.
Knock me out.
You live. What I'm going to do is
you can't.
I'm going to put my.
No, you can't knock me. You get knocked out.
You get knocked out.
I finish you.
Even before the fight.
I finish you, little
Get
man.
that from here.
I finish you.
Dana, Ilia, after the fight, he called in Paddy Pimblett and brought him into the cage, and they had a face-off. Obviously, they've got a long history together. I know there's a lot of options on the table for Ilia, but when he shows that type of interest in a fight, does that make you want to make it?
Well, I don't know who the hell let him in there. That should have never happened. Let's start there. I was already back in my room, or that would have never happened. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think about that stuff tonight, other than, obviously the van fight. But, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out.
So, Mojo, for what it's worth, Paddy Pimblett is the 8th-ranked fighter in the division. So there are certainly guys who are further up on the rankings, closer to Ilia, but these two guys do have a history. They do have some beef, Mojo, and I think there is a lot of juice for this fight to happen. But what do you think? I don't know. What do you want to see?
I think Dana White is smiling on the inside and the outside right now. I haven't thought about it, he says. I'm not buying it, Babcock, and maybe he was back in that room early for a reason so that Paddy Pimblett could walk into the octagon and we could get this moment. Keep in mind, he wasn't smiling a week ago when we were talking about John Jones retiring and being done. Dana White doesn't like losing stars. Naturally, what promoter would? But he's seeing this and he's liking what he's seeing. I mean, Ilia Topuria, that just looked way too easy, that knockout, right? And calling it in the first round, that's tough. If you're a fighter, you gotta think that these guys are hearing a statement like that, right? And they're like, well, I'm gonna at least take this thing to the second round. I'll slow play the first, so at least I can make sure that this guy comes off as a liar. Right. No chance I'm going to give up a possible opportunity to get dropped. This guy's Babe Ruthin at me, pointing out in the crowd somewhere. Not going to let it happen. Did it anyways, and vicious. Goodness gracious, that was a hell of a knockout. Who makes sense next for Ilia? Insert Paddy Pimblett. This is the fight that people want to see. Two of the most talked about guys, not just in the division, but the entire sport. Two of the UFC's biggest stars. I mean, this is the matchup everybody wants, whether Dana decides to give it to us now or risk putting it off for a little bit. If one of these guys loses before then, all the hype of this fight, or at least most of it, goes away right on the spot, right? So maybe you have to run with that if he's ranked 8th. A lot of people in line that deserve it better, but let's keep in mind, this isn't the PFL. This isn't a tournament-style bracket, you know. Guys get jumped all the time. Whatever fight is going to sell tickets, and this fight right here, that fight will sell tickets. Lots of them.
Former LSU coach Ed Orgeron rips off his shirt at a wedding in Louisiana. The hilarious footage when TMZ Sports comes back right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, Ed Orgeron, of course, longtime head football coach, guy won a national championship back in 2019 at LSU. Mojo with the Tigers. Well, over the weekend, it wasn't coaching a football game, but he was at the wedding of a guy that used to be on his staff. And Coach Orgeron, Mojo, wanted to do something nice for the newlyweds, and he did it like only Ed Orgeron could do. Watch this.
Go Tigers and roll away!
There you go, Mojo. Ed Orgeron still looking good in his 60s. Buff.
You know, Babcock, if I would have played for a coach like this, I'm pretty sure I would have been the top pick of the draft in a 42-year NFL Pro Bowler. This guy speaks my language right here, Babcock. Yes. Brother, breaking it down. I mean, obviously a smart guy. We can tell that by his head coaching career. You don't become a head coach at a high level without being extremely intelligent. Yeah. But he thinks things through. He ditched the shirt on the dance floor. He's at a wedding, right? You got to look nice. But when you're wearing all that crap, especially as an athlete, you sweat profusely. Right. Those shirts stick. I'm saying all of this from a lot, years, decades of experience. You got to get it off of you, because trying to wear that thing when you're done dancing is disgusting. No one wants to touch you. You smell. It's awful. But if you remove the shirt beforehand, that way when you're done, you towel off. You got a fresh, dry shirt waiting for you. You can look presentable again. Right. The party rolls on. Other people might go home when you get to that point. So I'm just saying, this guy knows what he's doing. I love the energy. I love that fun. Him and Bill Belichick finding fun in different ways after their big head coaching run. So I am more of this style than what Bill's doing, truthfully. But hey, to each their own. I'm saying this coach is great. I'm a fan.
Oscar De La Hoya lists his Las Vegas area home for $19.5 million. The breathtaking images of this mansion is coming your way next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Mike and Mojo. Mojo, Oscar De La Hoya and his beautiful girlfriend, Holly Saunders, are selling, you want to talk about beautiful, one of the most breathtaking homes that I have ever seen, Mojo, in Las Vegas. Of course, that is where Oscar and Holly live. Oscar buys this place, Mojo, for $14.6 million in 2022. They have now listed it for $5 million more, Mojo, $19.5 million bucks. This thing is incredible, Mojo. It's got, everything. I mean, what more could you want? Look at that closet right there. I mean, the TVs, the high ceilings, the kitchen. I mean, it's truly got everything. But I think this is the feature above all features, Mojo, is that incredible view of the Las Vegas Strip. Look at that there. in its entirety, in all its glory. The Strip, again, I mean, talking about a near $20 million home in Las Vegas, where there's obviously a lot of land. It's not as expensive real estate-wise as a place like Los Angeles might be, a lot less space, Mojo, right? I mean, it's a remarkable home. And again, looking to make or make a $5 million profit, $19.5 million bucks, this thing on the market right now. If you're very wealthy, he could do a lot worse as far as homes go.
I'm going to be honest with you, Babcock. I kind of hate these segments. I don't know if it's the inner hater in me, but my goodness, I thought I was doing well at my house. Now I see something like this. Goodness. I mean, we're talking about a house that he bought for almost 15 and is now listed for almost 20. I mean, $5 million, nice chunk of change.
Yeah.
Even he would notice that change in his bank account. That's going to make him happy. This place is absurd, and given the location, man, we usually talk about these homes in like Cali or Florida or something. Like, this is a view of the Vegas Strip. We don't cover too many of those. I gotta wonder how many homes in Vegas look like this, you know, with that much space, with a view like that. I mean, usually we're talking about penthouses at one of the hotels or something, but this right here is something special. Of course, as a fighter, it makes sense to be in Vegas. That's where he fights from. He just goes down the street. He can stay at his house. He's very comfortable. I've got to think that's an advantage if he were still fighting, but that's neither here nor there. But still pretty awesome. This place has it all. I love it.
Yeah, Mojo, I may buy it. I'm thinking about it. I will let you know. It's absolutely incredible. No word actually where Oscar plans to move next. I can only imagine where, if Oscar and Holly are selling this place, where they ultimately go. So buckle up. We will obviously follow that. $19.5 million bucks on the market right now. We're out of time, Mojo. We got a bunch, though, to talk about tomorrow. It's going to be a great show.
That's right, Babcock. It'll be the best show since today.
I'm a lawyer.